So after you left Studio One, like you said, you started working more at Tubby's. Was your aspiration? What was your aspiration at that time? Did you want to be like known as a dub artist, or did you just want to mix? Like, what were you kind of? Where was your mind at that
I
time?
wasn't trying to become a dub artist. I wasn't thinking of being a dub artist.
Yeah.
I know about engineering. The dub is just a performance like what you see we did at the concert.
Yeah. Yeah.
The engineer getting the right tone and balance of the instrument comes first.
Mm-hmm.
Or else the dub you're doing is going to sound weak.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That would not. That wouldn't work too well.
Yeah, so going back to that album or hear that album sound is getting knowing how to capture the sound, knowing what to do to get the drums sounding like that first. Then when you get those elements going and you record those elements, then it's going only emphasize or enhance the performance that is known as dub.
Absolutely. And let me think. So at that point, you were like, what would a day-to-day session look like in the studio? Were you were you just mixing? Like, when did you start like making your own stuff? Like, I'm so curious how that transition kind of happened. Do you know?
What? So go back to your question. What a general day at the studio?
Yeah.
Like? Okay. All right. So you have a guy coming to the studio. Some of them can sing, or play a guitar, or some kind of an instrument. And like, for example, the Roots Radix band.
Mm-hmm.
They never seen the guy from before.
Yeah.
Don't know anything about him. Some of them can play, so you can give the musician a chord progression idea. And some of them just generic, and they would sing a couple lines and then steal with, okay, you call out the cards.
Yeah.
Right? And sometime I have to record, record, overdub, and mix in 3 hours.
Whoa. Like, so just an artist would come in with basically like maybe some lyrics,
and
then just boom, like having to make an entire thing.
That's a good side of having talented musicians.
Yeah, seriously.
They can just. I think back in Motown, that's how it used to be.
Wow.
What I heard, because the talent of the musician, they didn't really require any rehearsal. For example, at that dance that you perform on, none of those artists rehearsed.
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
They made it up right out on the fly.
Yeah.
As in 99.9% all the reggae songs is
Yeah.
made up there right on the fly.
That's so crazy, man. It's so interesting how like something like that can just be solidified for eternity. It's just a classic, and you wouldn't even know that it was like this masterpiece was just made.
It was
on the
made
fly,
right
you know,
there, including going back to Bob Marley. They rehearsed for shows.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah, but no rehearsal for going inside the studio. Made up right there on the spot. So,
Wow.
A typical day, all right, would record and mix about four bands, right? Some people probably like Jimmy Cliff will come in and we were doing an album, and the album is recorded in 1 day.
The whole thing.
The whole thing. Yeah, we
Dang.
could take a next day to overdub.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like horn part, because we don't do horns when we recording, but like the basic tracks, like drum, bass, keyboard, guitar, percussions, we record that the same day.
Wow.
Then to get rid of the interference with the bleed, then we record the horns a separate day.
Got it.
Horns, the harmonies, stuff like that, on a separate day. Not everything the same time. However, like for example, Dennis Brown, recording Dennis Brown, and him doing a song, Time to Have a Revolution, right? We end up using the pilot track because doesn't care what he did, he couldn't get back and sing it back like the performance of the pilot track.
Oh wow. That you're talking about the ones like, "Are you ready to stand up and fight?"
Yeah.
That song. Dang.
Yeah, it was a pilot track that made it on the record.
Really?
Yeah, it was the real soak and call, okay?
Wow.
Come on. Yeah, so when I'm going to do a dub mix, and I also learn, by the time you hear the drummer start to count,
Yeah.
hit the red light, because that might be the magic.
Yeah. Yeah. I always hear the countings on a lot of those albums, like the 1, too.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
always hit that. I always hit the red light right there. So when I go to do a dub mix even myself, I hit the red light
Yeah.
because that might be the magical one that you never get back again.
Wow.